All right. After doing a very heavy topic, capital structure, we're coming to a very light topic that is to deal with fixed capital. Fixed capital refers to investment in fixed assets or long-term assets like plant and machinery, etc. We have to do the factors affecting fixed capital. That is a topic starting now. So it refers to investment in long-term assets or fixed assets. Long-term assets we encircle, fixed assets we encircle. What are the factors affecting fixed capital? First is nature of business. See, if you have manufacturing business, you will need more of fixed assets like plant and machinery. In case if you have trading business, you're dealing in ready-made goods, you're not manufacturing anything, you will need lesser of fixed assets. So here fixed capital will be more, here fixed capital will be less. Where I have used FC, FC is for fixed capital, arrow is for more, FC is for fixed capital and the arrow down is for less. Next is level of collaboration. Now, it depends how you want to do the business. If you're collaborating and participating with someone or you're having your own your own business. If you're collaborating with someone, you're sharing assets. Fixed capital requirement will be lesser. But if you have your own business, more fixed assets, you will set your own business, you will need more fixed assets, so fixed capital requirement will be more. So, like for example, outsourcing. Now, or another example is ATM. You can have the bank can have its own ATM, or it can have a ATM of another bank, and it can use some other bank's ATM. So depending on the collaboration on participation or own working. Sometimes you get a big project and you outsource it rather than buying more machinery. That is what we're talking about with level of collaboration. Next comes scale of operation. Now your business is large scale or small scale. Large scale needs more of fixed assets, bigger plant and machinery. Here small plant and equipment or machinery. Bigger plant and machinery needs more of fixed capital. Here it is less fixed capital. Next comes choice of technique. Now, what kind of business do you have? You have a capital intensive business or is it labor intensive business? Capital intensive means higher investment in fixed assets. Why? Because you're spending capital in buying of the fixed assets. So, ultimately, fixed capital requirement will be more, where it is labor intensive, less investment in fixed assets, and fixed capital requirement will be comparatively less. Technology upgradation. Now, there are two cases. Like for example, if you talk about computer, you talk about mobile phones, the technology gets obsolete very quickly, right? So obsolete technology or does not get immediately obsolete. Like furniture doesn't get obsolete, outdated immediately, or there is not much of immediate wear and tear. So assets become obsolete sooner, replacement is faster, therefore more fixed assets, fixed capital requirement will be more. Here may not get obsolete, therefore less fixed assets, fixed capital requirement will be less. I've given an example here, computers and furniture. Growth prospects. There are two kinds of company, mature company and growth company. Mature company has no new projects, no growth, less fixed assets. Whatever is invested. So they don't need much of investment. So fixed capital requirement is less. Growth company, new projects, growth oriented, more fixed assets will be required. So fixed capital requirement will be more. Diversification. You have a single product company or you have a multi-product company. In case if you have a single product company, less fixed assets are required, fixed capital requirement will be less. Whereas if you have a multi-product company, like for example a textile company diversifying into or starting a cement company. So when there is diversification, you are becoming a multi-product company, more fixed assets will be required, so fixed capital requirement will be more. Next is financing alternatives. Now it depends on you. You take the particular asset on lease or you buy the asset. Now, if you take asset on lease, fixed capital requirement is less. Why? Because you're paying a rent kind of a thing. But if you buy your own asset, you are buying it, purchasing it, fixed asset, since you're purchasing, it will be heavy investment, fixed capital requirement will be more. Here the only condition which you have to keep in mind is that cost of leasing should be less than cost of purchasing the asset. Yeah, it should not be very expensive. If leasing is expensive, it's better to purchase a project in that case. It is better to purchase the asset in that case. So this is all about fixed capital and factors affecting fixed capital. Next we are going to do is management of fixed capital. Alright, after discussing fixed capital and the factors affecting fixed capital, we're coming to the next topic, management of fixed capital. What exactly do we mean by management of fixed capital? A firm has different kind of projects or assets with long-term implications. So how these are to be actually allocated, how these are to be used is what is management of fixed capital. It is also called investment decision or capital budgeting decision. Particular management of fixed capital affects the growth, profitability and risk of the business in a very long run. So when you talk about the that how you're going to grow your business, that depends on how much investment you've made. When you talk about how much profit you have earned, so that is how much money you've invested in the fixed assets. And what is the risk of the business? See, now again, the longer the business goes, the risk comparatively, the risk factor does not decreases, but yes, you're able to cover up the risk much more easily. So when we talk about the growth, profitability, risk of business in long run, we're talking about how it can be managed through the fixed capital, how resources can be allocated for the long term projects. Investment in fixed assets would also include expenditure on acquisition. Acquisition means to get, expansion, that means to grow your business, modernize, that means from obsolete technology going to modern technology, or to replace any particular asset or any particular machinery or any particular plant which was not workable, or whatever the reason was, wear and tear, depreciation, whatever the reason was. These decisions include, this can be your board question on the topic, purchase of land and building, launching a new product line, investment in advanced technique of production, advertising campaign and research and development programs. These are the example of management of fixed capital. Next we come to is importance of management of fixed capital or importance of capital budgeting, and then we also talk about importance of investment decision. So this is the importance of investment decision. When we talked about the factors, DECISION, okay. When we talked about the factors affecting capital budgeting decision, they were different. Cash flow projects, then we talked about the rate of return and investment criteria involved. When we talked only of the fixed capital, the factors were different. Now we are talking about importance of capital budgeting and management of fixed capital and investment decision. The first topic we did when we started with our chapter financial management. What is the importance? I have done this in brief with you where I told you that the fixed capital is very crucial to business. Investment decision rather is very crucial to business. Why? Because it involves huge funds. These decisions are irrevocable. Once you have taken, you cannot come out of it, or you cannot wriggle out of it without incurring heavy losses, and these affect your profitability as well as the risk of your business. Same thing in a more elaborated form. What these involve long-term growth. These decisions have a bearing on the long-term growth. Why? Because fixed capital, you cannot talk of getting returns within no time. If you've invested money, if you've invested a huge sum of money, say 100 crores, 200 crores for a long term, so the returns will come after some time. You'll yield returns after some time. The funds invested in long-term assets are likely to yield returns in the future after some time. These decisions affect future prospects of the business, purely futuristic in approach. Today you've invested and you think you get a return within 2-3 days, not possible. Future, yes, it is possible. Large amount of funds involved. These decisions result in substantially proportion of capital funds being blocked in long-term projects. Basically, when we talk about management of fixed capital or fixed assets, or when we talk about these examples, we are talking of money being blocked in long-term projects. These are planned after detailed analysis is undertaken. Of course, yes, you analyze every situation, you analyze every prospect, then only you decide that how you're going to invest in a particular project. This includes this includes the decisions like where to procure, here it should be, this includes decisions like where to procure funds from and at what rate. So when you talk about the sources of finance, and when you talk about the procurement of funds, that where you're going to get your funds from, at what rate of interest is high or less, at what rate, you're talking about investment in or management of fixed capital. Why? Because you're talking about huge fund which is to be invested for a longer tenure. Of course, this is going to affect your future prospect, and also for that long time your capital will be blocked because returns don't come immediately. Risk involved, of course, fixed capital, the 100% risk is involved. Business risk, Financial risk if you borrow too much, but business risk, risk of operating the business, yes, it is there. And if you continuously keep on operating and you don't get a return for a very very long time, ultimately you have to shut down the business. You can't carry on a business which doesn't even lead you to no profit no loss situation, and it doesn't give you a break even point also. So you cannot risk yourself to that extent. But yes, risk is involved because one, the tenure is long, second, it talks about future, and third, huge funds are involved. Fixed capital involves investment in huge amount. It affects the returns of the firm and as a whole in long term. So long term, you get affected by it. These investment decisions involving fixed capital influence the overall business risk complexion of the firm. Yes, it does. Overall business risk complexion of the firm. You have invested some very less amount, say around 10,000 in a business. Suppose you have become a vegetable vendor. Your risk is day-to-day risk. Vegetables will sell. If they don't sell, you'll make it at home, or maybe 10,000 is not such a huge amount. You'd say, ma'am, for a small vendor it may be a very huge amount. No, it is comparatively revocable. But if you're talking about 10,000 crores, it means a huge amount and lots of risk being involved, right? Next is irreversible decision. Like I've told you, I've been telling you continuously, whenever we talk about the long term investment prospects, the decisions are irrevocable, irreversible. Once you put in the money, you cannot come out of it without incurring heavy losses. 10,000 crore, if you've invested into a long term business, you can't just come out of it in a clean sheet selling the same business at 10,000 crore, rather 12,000 crore to somebody else. No, it is not possible. These decisions, once taken, is not reversible without incurring heavy losses. Abandoning, giving up a project after heavy investment is costly. Why? Because it will not go for the same price, it will rather go for a lower price. These decisions should be taken only after carefully evaluating each detail, or financial consequences may be heavy. You'd say, ma'am, many times people sell their, many firms have sold their business to the other firms or business houses, or there's a takeover. Those prospects are different. There could be a possibility that a particular business goes at a higher rate, but comparatively what they have invested to what that rate may not be equal. So peripherally it may look like that, but lot of human efforts, lot of human capital investment is involved. Apart from the other investment, you may be paid for the investment in the other terms, but human capital investment remains unpaid. So when we talk about irreversible decision, we are talking about decision in context of the money invested and all of a sudden abandoning a project and getting the returns out of it. The returns in the sense selling the business to somebody else, it will always go for less, not for more. This was management of fixed capital, that is importance of capital budgeting or importance of a fixed investment decision. Next we are going to take up is the topic working capital and what are the factors affecting working capital. Alright, so starting with working capital, we have been doing this topic for last 2 years in +1 +2. We've been doing in accountancy, we've been doing in our business studies, we have done in 8th chapter of +1 also sources of business finance. We've talked about fixed capital and working capital. So coming to working capital, what is working capital? Working capital refers to the portion of investment in short-term assets of the firm. So what do we need? All expenses or short-term investment in terms of up to 1 year, we talk about is what is working capital. When we talk about the current assets or when we talk about for the day-to-day operation money required, it is called nothing else but working capital. Net working capital is current assets minus current liability, is described as excess of current assets over current liabilities. What is gross working capital? It is aggregate of current assets. Example of current assets are cash in hand at bank, marketable securities, bill receivable, debtors. Then you have finished good inventory, work in progress, raw material and prepaid expenses. When you talk about current liabilities, it's bills payable, creditors, outstanding expenses, advances received from other customers. So all these come out as nothing else but your current liabilities. Now, we need to know what are the factors affecting working capital. There is not much explanation for the part of current assets or current liabilities. I just did this so that in case if you ever get a numerical on it, you know that these are the items in current assets and these are the items in current liabilities. If you just simply deduct current assets from current liabilities, you will get your net working capital, in case if you get a numerical on this. Factors affecting working capital. We'll start with the factors affecting working capital. Very, very easy, very important topic from the board point of view. Usually you get a lot of board questions on this topic. First is nature of business. When we talk about nature of business, we talk about three things. We talk about manufacturing business, we talk about the second type of trading business, we talk about the service. When we talk about manufacturing business, we say the working capital requirement is more. Why? Because we need to convert raw material into finished goods. When we talk about trading business, we are talking about less of working capital. Why? Because business sells ready-made goods or finished goods. When we talk about services, there are no inventories required. So that is why working capital requirement is least in case of services. Like for example, if you talk about transportation business, or you talk about in trading, you talk about any kind of goods you buy as trading, a trade type of a thing, like you buy your retail goods, toiletries or anything like that. Manufacturing, when you're actually manufacturing those toiletries, that would be the manufacturing business. So working capital requirement in manufacturing is more, trading is less, and services it is least. Scale of operation, the size of business. Large scale, small scale. Large scale, quantum of stock, that is inventory and debtors is more, so working capital requirement will be more. Small scale business, quantum of stock and debtors is comparatively less, so working capital requirement will be less. Business cycle, two things we have divided. This is division I have done on my own, so that's easier for you to understand. Boom or depression. Now when there is boom, boom means good time, sales more, production more, working capital requirement will be more for producing more, and for once you produce more, so you need more kharcha, work in progress, finished goods, inventory, raw material, for everything, more kharcha. So production more, sales more, working capital requirement will be more. Production less, sales less, working capital requirement will be less. When you're not producing, when you know the sales are not there in the market, why will you produce more? And when you'll not produce more, kharcha will be less in terms of these things. Seasonal factors. There's a peak season, there's a lean season. Peak season, good times when everything is easily saleable, and lean season when the demand is not so much. So peak season, demand is more, sales are more, production is more, working capital requirement will be more. Lean season, demand is less, sales is less, production is less, so working capital requirement will be comparatively less. To continue with the fifth point, production cycle. Now what is a production cycle? Production cycle is a time span between receipt of raw material and the conversion into finished goods. So when you receive or when you get raw material and you convert them into finished good, that tenure is called the production cycle. Like for example, production cycle for train is 5 years, but for bread is like you produce today and you sell tomorrow. Train takes 5 years to complete. So longer the production cycle, working capital requirement will be more, because funds required will be more, raw material required will be more, expenses will be more. Shorter the production cycle, funds requirement will be less, raw material will be less, expenses will be less, working capital requirement will be less. Here I have given you working capital requirement. Here is for train, example is for train, sorry, and with this production here I have given for bread example. So yes, undoubtedly for train it takes 5 years to manufacture, so working capital requirement required for 5 years more, and for bread it is produced at night, sold next day morning, and you receive money within no time, so working capital requirement is comparatively less. Next, credit allowed. Credit allowed, that is we are talking from customer's point of view, keeping competition and credit worthiness of the client in mind. If you have liberal credit policy, that means you have a customer and you tell him, okay, pay after 6 months, no problem at all. Now for 6 months you have more debtors but less of cash in hand, working capital requirement will be more, because working capital is liquid capital, you need cash in hand. If you have strict credit policy, you just give your debtors time for 1 week, what will happen? Your debtors will comparatively be less, you will have more cash in hand. More cash in hand means working capital requirement will be less. So this is credit allowed. Credit availed. Now you have a supplier who supplies raw materials to you. He gives you liberal credit terms. That means he gives you credit purchase, more of credit purchase. Keep on buying on credit. You have lots of time to give money to him. He gives you 6 months credit, 8 months credit, 9 months credit. You will have more cash in hand. Working capital requirement will be less. But if he talks, no, only cash purchases. आज नकद, kal udhar. He says only cash purchases. What will happen? Your cash in hand will be less. Working capital requirement will be more. So because the time availed for credit is comparatively less. All right. Growth prospect. There are two types of company: mature company, growth company. Growth company, when you talk, they are into the growing process. They have new projects, so growth is more, production is more, sales is more, working capital requirement will be more. But when you talk about mature company, growth is stable or less, production is stable or less, sales are stable or less. So working capital requirement comparatively is stable or less in comparison to the growth oriented company. With the next point, operating efficiency. Now what exactly do we mean by efficiency? Efficiency is lowering cost of production, increasing sales and increasing profit. Suppose you sell your inventory or the goods which you have manufactured quickly, so you are efficient. You don't have any debtors, you are efficient. Efficiency is more, there is less investment in stock and debtors. Working capital requirement will be less. Why? Because you're efficient, you're making quick sales, you're getting cash in hand. Working capital requirement will be less. Simultaneous production, simultaneous things are happening. But if your efficiency is less, you're not very efficient. It takes longer duration to do everything. Money gets tied up, it gets blocked. So working capital requirement will be comparatively more. Availability of raw material. Now, there's always a time lag between you make an order and the goods are available to you. So time lag between placement of order and actual receipt of material is called lead time. This is known as lead time. So if the lead time is more, see, quantity of raw material will be more. Like for example, what happens? You ordered for a particular product and there was some scarcity, raw material was not available, and it continued for 6 months. Now 6 months, not only you, another 60 people will give the order for the same thing invariably. So quantity of raw material will increase, working capital requirement will increase. In case lead time is less, you order, things are ready for you, you immediately get the product and you sell it in the market, get cash, and then again you buy, and the cycle continues. So quantity of raw material required is less. For me, the one who's producing, quantity of raw material required will be less as per the order. Quickly we'll produce, and working capital requirement will be comparatively less. Level of competition. If competition is more, you need stock of finished goods to meet orders. Yes, you need to keep the stock ready. So whenever somebody comes, just too many competitors are there, somebody comes to your factory or your shop, sees that the things are ready with you. Other shops, they have to still make it ready, or until unless people ask for customized things, still have to make ready. So sometimes the walk-in customers are there who buy the goods immediately. So working capital requirement happens is what? When the things are ready. Okay, so that means your money is getting tied up in the particular stock or inventory, working capital requirement will be more. But if there is no competition, lesser of competition, business stock is not to be maintained, working capital requirement is less. So comparatively, when you talk about lesser of competition, people are not there, working capital requirement is less. Why? Because there is no need to maintain stock. When people give you an order, place an order, you get the order ready. Like furniture against order. Now what happens in furniture against order? People pay you cash first and then make an order to you. So you will manufacture with the money received in advance. Working capital requirement will be less. Inflation. If the inflation is more, inflation means महंगाई, inflation ज़्यादा, cost ज़्यादा. So inflation more, cost more, production more, sales volume more, working capital requirement, everything will be more. Stability. Costs are not high, normal production, normal sales, working capital requirement will be less or comparatively normal. That's all about what financial management. We've thoroughly done financial management and enjoyed doing it with lots of flowcharts. Next video will be on synopsis. So till then, bye bye and ta-da!